Hello everyone. Welcome to today's webinar on production pipeline setting for design visualization in 3ds Max and Arnold. My name is Nishant Bhardwaj and I am your dedicated success advisor at Arcans with a background in engineering. I have a passion to leveraging technology to streamline workflow and enhance design processes. In this session, we will explore the essential steps and best practices for setting up an efficient production pipeline, specifically tailored for design visualization using 3ds Max and Arnold. This is a critical aspect for professionals looking to maximize productivity and achieve stunning visual results. We are hoping for an interactive webinar, so please don't hesitate to put up your questions in the chat box, and we will be pleased to answer that. I am excited to introduce our expert speaker for today, Mr. Jignesh, with extensive experience in the field. Jignesh will guide us through the details of the production pipeline, sharing valuable insights and practical tips that you can apply in your own projects. So, without taking more time, let's welcome Mr. Jignesh to take over and kick off this informative session. Jignesh, over to you, please.
Thank you, Nishant, for the lovely introduction, and good afternoon, all of you. I just wanted to confirm whether I'm audible. Is there any disturbance or anything? Nishant, can you please
Yes, you are
confirm me again?
audible. Yeah, you are
No,
audible.
no disturbance. Right. All right. So let's kick off. Thank you for such a lovely introduction, and good afternoon to all of you. Thank you so much for joining in today's webinar from your busy schedule. I know it's the probably the second last for some people and last day of week for some people. Some things will be in planning for your weekends, and before you go and fly off and relax yourself in. For your weekend part, I would say that today's session is something that we, as technical person, we do come across in our day-to-day maneuvers that our clients all across India are complaining, or you can say not about complaining, but the kind of a disturbing things that they actually face during their day-to-day part while working in 3S Max. Now, 3ds Max is something which I've been using from Max 4, which is around 2003, 2004. Right, that was the first time that I was actually introduced for 3s Max. It was, of course, not of the same company that is there right now. It was been taken over later, but today, as and when it actually progressed, its users have actually moved to have done a wonderful job all across the globe. They have been using it very extensively. They have been doing it for quite some time. And the main thing that the main takeaway about 3ds Max is like it's very versatile. You have to understand here that this software is very versatile. It has been used in various other sectors, not just in design visualization or not just in for architectural, but it has been used for gaming. It has been used for movies. And many things has been actually been done by our clients all across the globe. So let me just give you a brief things about what exactly Max can do. I'm sure everybody in the audience must be knowing about it. They must be knowing how Max works and everything. But this is just a small recap of what you actually know and what I'll be actually showcasing you about 3ds Max. So before that, just one sec. Nishant, please approve the sharing part. Yeah, just a sec. Hello, Nishant. Yeah, thank you. Also the sound part, please. Sorry for this technical difficulties from the Zoom. This is something that we have to do it on their own. Doing it again. Yeah. Nishant, just need this share, enable the share sound, please.
Just give me a moment, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Can you please check, Jignesh?
Yeah, I'm doing it again then. No, it is still freezed.
Just give me a moment.
If it is not, then I'll just move on this. That's not an issue. I'll show them the
Yeah,
video.
in the meantime, our team is checking. Just it's
Okay.
might be a technical glitch.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'll just give you the briefing about what actually the today's session is. It's more on the production pipeline and settings of 3ds Max and Arnold. It's kind of an ongoing technical session that I've been doing it for quite some time. People all across India, they actually keep on giving us suggestion about, sir, please take a topic on this, please take a topic on this, enlighten us on this, on that, on our LinkedIn place. To please do check out our LinkedIn, where you can actually suggest us topic, whichever that you want, that we want to take. We will be happy to take those kind of a session in future. Right. So this is what Arkansas is. Arkansas has a global presence right from America till Australia, and right now we are actually residing in India. We have around we've been over in for 50 offices across the globe, and this is what right now the Arkansas is. We are part of Monia. Arkansas has been this is the entire journey of our company, right from Capricorn, formerly from Capricorn, then it was been taken over by Arcans. And we are having a global presence in various sectors, not just media and entertainment or architectural, but also in many other sectors. So this is what I was trying to tell you about, that this is this kind of a work that our clients have been doing it from across the globe. Now, many of the things that are being made in Maya, some of the things are made in Max, but well, Max has its own specific way of working around in production pipeline. It's not just for you can say just to create the 3D environment and insync. As you can see, this is something that's been made in 3ds Max. It has more integration part also, that it is very well integrated in other sectors. Now, just for the enlightenment, Max is the only software which is there in all three sectors of Autodesk suites. Now, there are three suites majorly. One is media and entertainment, which is where I am from, which has 3ds Max and Maya an entire suite. One is AEC, which is architectural, engineering, and construction. So in AEC, also you find 3ds Max, and in manufacturing, MEC. So all three of these suite have 3ds Max within them, so you can understand how versatile Max is. Max has been there for generation. It will be there in future also, and it is keep on evolving as far as I know, right? So what kind of a troubleshooting that we actually face in day-to-day life now, this is something I literally feel while I'm actually talking with some of the people who are in 3ds Max, and they face a lot of challenges in their day-to-day part. Now, what kind of a challenge I'm talking? Is this sounding familiar? Max is actually taking a lot of time to open. Oh, Max is taking around 15 minutes. This particular file is getting taking so much of time to open. It's taking 15 minutes. It's taking around half an hour, sometimes an hour. What is wrong with Max? Why my file is getting stuck up in the middle? What is happening this? Why? So These are the questions that haunts all of the users while they are working, especially in design visualization, while they are working in that in 3ds Max. Now they keep on telling me why Max is behaving like this, why Max is behaving like I have a simple question for them. Sir, can you tell me how you actually built out this particular file? Oh, I just made a simple layout. This is my wall. This is something that I have been drawing from AutoCAD. Fine, no problem. Where you are bringing your files from AutoCAD to 3ds Max. Very good. That is what is the integration is all about. And then you will be actually making your walls and everything. Now, what about your textures? What about your configuration of your system? These are some of the things also that matters a lot. Not just textures, but also what kind of an asset are you using? What kind of an asset? Now, what is assets? Assets are those things that you are actually placing within your file. It could be anything. It could be a simple flower pot. It could be a simple chair. It could be a tables. There could be many, many, many things. How on earth are you actually managing those many assets while you are working in 3ds Max? These are the certain things that we need to understand while working in 3ds Max. People just vaguely open Max. Okay, now I'm don't get me wrong. This is an experience that I'm sharing. This is my personal experience that actually I'm sharing with you guys. That people just vaguely open up Max. They start working on Max, and they have certain assets in D drive, chairs, under this, under that, right? They have texture in F drive, under that, under that. Is this something that you've been doing it? Or if you are also placing in everything in one drive, fine, no doubt about it. Fine, that is absolutely fine. But are you making Max aware that I have placed my texture, my assets, and everything in this particular folder? Have you done this? Okay. Have you? If you have done, well and good. If you haven't, then you need to answer my simple question, sir. How heavy is your file? Is your file getting around somewhere? I'm just giving an example. One of the examples that I just vaguely remember that one of the clients from South, actually South India, he just called me up, sir. My Max is taking around 40 minutes to open. Okay. Oh, can you tell me like what kind of work are you doing? He's saying that, sir, I'm actually into design visualization. I have made an entire bungalow and everything, but still, and it was working just fine sometimes back, but right now it's taking forever to open up that particular file. Okay, can you tell me what is your file size? It's nothing much. It's around 8 GB. 8 GB file on a Windows system. Okay, all right, and that too 120 MB RAM. Okay, with a very good memory graphic card, somewhere around 4 to 6 GB, I suppose. Okay, it has a very good configured system, but still Max is behaving like this. Why? Because you haven't optimized your scene completely. You haven't planned it. You just merged each and every file from different sets, and you actually made it into one single set of scene, and that's why it's so heavy. I was baffled by this particular part because I couldn't imagine like how he didn't was able to how he was able to manage this heavy file. It must have created in some way or the other, right? But still, it is around 8 GB. Okay, it will take forever to open up that particular file. So you have to make sure that you are planning your each and every scene in a proper way. Because if you don't, irrespective of your system or anything, it will give you a hard time. It will give you a very hard time because you haven't optimized your particular scene. In my opinion, the file size of a minimum, I'm giving an example. If you have a file size of 1 GB, okay, it should not exceed more than 10 MB. Yeah, what you are saying? If you have a file size of 1 GB, and if I, as a person, if I optimize that particular scene, it won't go more than 40 MB. It can be done. It can be done. It will reduce your render time also in some way, unless and until you are using a very high level of 4K or 2K textures, where it is necessary. If it is not unnecessary and you are using a 4K texture, then even that is a problem. Okay, so that's a different conversation that I will have in few minutes. So these are the creative challenges that I was talking about. Balancing and technical skills. Many of the people are very creative, but they are not so much technical. Some of them are very technical, but they are not so creative. Somewhere or other, you have to be very balanced while working on 3ds Max. And hardware configuration is something that I would say it's like a crocodile mouth. It won't be filled irrespective of whatever you actually give it. It would be less. Okay. But it's as a user, as an artist, it's our job to make sure that whatever hardware that we have, okay, we optimize it as much as we can. Unless and until you are not following the configuration recommendations that we have, yeah, certain things are there that you need to have this amount of memory and this amount of RAM so that your scene would be working as optimizing as possible. But say suppose if you are following all those instruction, I'm assuming that you are following all the instruction. The only thing that artists need to understand here that it needs to optimize its scene as much as it possible, especially that scene which is ready to render. You have given your texture, you have given your lighting, and it is ready to fire as render. Irrespective of whatever renderer that you are using. I don't see Arnold is something which is there, which is inbuilt into VS Max. But I'm an open-minded person. If you ask me, sir, I don't use Arnold right now. I'm using V-Ray. Is this thing being you applied to my particular art? Yes, of course. It will. Even in V-Ray, you do have something known as V-Ray proxy. So why aren't you using those things? Why? And say suppose if you are not using V-Ray proxy, don't worry about it. Still, the final render file of yours, the asset that you have actually made, is it optimized? Okay. Now I'm keep on telling about optimization. What exactly I'm talking about? See, I'll give you one example. This is one example that I would like to highlight on. Now, this is the main file, this one. Okay, now it's an old file. I agree. It is somewhere around, I'll give you an example about this particular file. This is somewhere around 1.4 GB, right? See? Now, this is a complete asset. Now, what kind of a file I'm looking over here? So suppose if I opened up this particular file, uh, you may be relating this thing with you. Okay, I'm waiting. 1 GB file. Right now, what's your configuration of my system? 32 GB RAM. Okay, with a decent RTX graphic card. Okay, and this particular file has no texture right now whatsoever. It is just material, simple, plain materials, and with colors. Nothing. I haven't given any light, nothing. Still, it is giving me 1 GB of data. Why? Because it has been detailed. Now, this particular scene, this scene over here is not needed. I just need this scene to be captured. That's why I removed it. I don't want it. Okay. Unless and until my camera is going over there, then of course you cannot keep it empty. But say suppose if it is not, then just keep it this way, right? Now still, if it is giving me 1 GB, then what I would be doing? Then what I will be doing over here is say, yeah, first and foremost, priorly, I'll be making sure that it won't come to 1 GB at all. But still, if say suppose some of you have such kind of a file which is going till 1 GB or 2 GB or something like that, then you have to further divide your entire scene into different pieces. For example, what I did, I actually divided this entire scene into these three ways. See, this one is first the garage, just a simple garage. Okay, it's taking still time. You can see that it is a simple garage. Then the border, then the dome, everything. I've just kept it in a different way, and rest everything I have simply deleted it. Right? I don't want it. I simply deleted it. Okay. Then what I did, I simply came into my Max, which is completely empty. Okay. Came into my file. There is something known as references. Now, how many in the audience have at least heard about these references? Can you just write down about the in chat whether you have heard about references? Have you used the references? Can you just please ping me in the chat? Anyone, please? Have you ever heard? Yes or no? I just want to understand. Yes or no? Just type in chat. Yes or no? Have you heard of file references? Have you heard of it? No one? Yes. Have you heard of it?
Yes, you can put in chat box or you
In
can
chat
raise your
box, please.
hand
Please, please,
also.
please. Just want to understand. Have you heard of this? Yes.
Chat is disabled. Raise your hand. I'll
Disable.
allow you to talk. No worries.
Okay. No problem. No problem. So if you have used it, at least you have used it, right? Okay. But many of the people in the audience, they haven't heard about it. So you have to understand here, this particular referencing is there in Max from the beginning of Max. Many years, people have been using it this for many things. Okay. And especially if you're a person like me who is from a movie background. Okay, I'm from a movie background. I have been making movies and animated movies. I've been working in animated movies and all. So I've seen this particular thing in other softwares as well, like Maya. Okay, and it is there in 3ds Max as well. What it does here is you are simply calling different files as a reference object. So suppose if I clicked over here on X object, all right, you can call it a complete scene, or you can call a complete or a simple one single object. It's up to you. So what I did here is I simply came into my here, okay, and clicked on over here into Garage, open. Made sure that automatic update is open. Okay. The second one that I simply called is border. Okay, merging everything. Okay, taking some time. Do it. Yes. Apply merge materials. Yeah. This is the second one, border. And last but not the least is the breaks. Merge, apply, use merge. Okay. So by this, what it did here is it called all of the entire scene. This is my entire scene. Okay. This is my entire scene. And if I saved this particular file, just for your references, right? So suppose if I simply saved as, say, trial. Let's just make it simple trial. Save. Okay. How much time it took? Hardly something. And if I open up the trial, 40 MB is something that I exaggerated. It's only 4 MB. It's just 4 MB, right? What was my original size of my file? It was 1 GB. I divided the entire scene and now it is 4 MB. Okay, right? So this is what the optimization part works. This is how you actually have to make sure that your file is properly been done. Okay, right? if you have been doing 1 GB, 2 GB or something like that kind of a file, let me be very realistic about it. Let's do another case study on this one. No problem. Say suppose if you have an entire interior scene. Okay, many of the interior or exterior scene or even a stall designing for that matter, all right, any of the designing part whenever it concern the things that you actually make from scratch is your layout, your walls, okay, your basic stage. If it is a stall, then it would be like a basic stage. Those things are something that you actually do from scratch. But when it comes to your chairs, when it comes to your sofa, right? What you do, maximum people, even if you have around what for 10 years of experience or whatever thing, what majorly people have a mindset, come into file, import, simply import, right? This is something that you actually do. Simply, you just import your files. Okay. Now, by doing that, what you are actually doing, you are actually making your file more and more heavy. Your file size keep on increasing because say suppose the layout has one particular weight, I mean like somewhere around 10 MB. Okay, and say suppose if you are importing a chair which you have downloaded from somewhere, from some XYZ website, right? And that is somewhere around what, 15 MB, 10 MB plus 15 MB, 15 MB you have duplicated further. How much? The file size keeps on increasing. The file size keeps on increasing, up to the point where one single file is taking around 40 minutes to just to open. You getting my point? So यहाँ यहाँ आपको ये समझने की जरूरत है कि आप जब इंपोर्ट करते हैं तो आप बेसिकली क्या कर रहे हो कि आप अपना सारा का सारा जो फाइल का जो वेट है, यानी कि पॉलीगॉन्स का जो वेट है, वो और बढ़ाते जा रहे हो. यू आर कीप ऑन इंक्रीजिंग योर पॉलीगॉन काउंट्स at a very extensive level. Okay, so and plus you will be at the same time you will be also applying materials. Okay, now materials are something which people keep on downloading from various websites. Some people do it from their own. I personally prefer those people who are actually making their own materials because you are actually making your own IPs. I would say that. If you are making your own material, you are making your own IPs. That is your exclusive material, and you are making it for your own project. You know, many I prefer it that I would prefer in that. But say suppose if you don't have that kind of a benefit, you don't have that kind of a benefit. You can't do keep on sitting and making all the materials. Fine, no problem. You have downloaded that material. What are the resolution of that material? Okay, many of the materials that are there online are having somewhere around 4K, 2K because they are very sharp. You know, many of the materials do have that kind of a sharpness so that it looks very realistic. Okay, fine. But make sure that you are actually also dividing your scene in such a way that, say, suppose if I have made this particular file at 4 MB, then I am actually applying my material at this 4 MB file. Yes, I can directly apply materials over here. All I have to do is I have to come into my material, apply whatever material that I want to. Okay, just for an example, if I just simply click and assign this material over here, okay, and I'll change it to this. This is by default. I'm using the physical material which is there in Max. Okay, so if I made it a polished concrete, yeah, this is a polished concrete now. Okay, right. So my point is like, say, suppose if you are using materials also in a referencing file, no problem, you can do it. The only thing that you can't do here is you cannot edit them. That means you cannot extrude the polygon, you can or include any polygons. If you want to do that, come into the original file of them, that is the border over here, or in case of you any chair or something like that, come into the original file, open that particular file, save, do whatever the editing that you want to, save it. It will be keep on updating in this particular file. There is a reason why I kept the referencing in our reference object this tab on automatic update. जब कभी भी मैं उसमें कोई भी editing अगर करूंगा, it will be getting updated directly into this file. ओके अब अगर मुझे कोई रेडी में रेंडर अगर करना है तो मैं आपको वो भी करके बता देता हूँ मैंने काफी सारे सीन्स वैसे स्क्रैच से ही बनाए हैं दीज आर द थिंग्स दैट आई हैव एक्चुअली मेड इट फ्रॉम स्क्रैच ओके सो मेरे रिसेंट फाइल्स में ही रहेगा यहाँ पर यस रेफरेंस नाउ आप कुछ नोटिस करोगे कि लाइक ये ना मुझे बता रहा है कि मैंने प्रोजेक्ट चेंज कर रहा हूँ इज इट ओके एक्चुअली मैंने ये बनाया है व्हाट आई डिड हियर इज कि लाइक जब मैंने काम शुरू किया तब मैंने बकायदा उसे एज अ प्रोजेक्ट सेट भी किया ओके irrespective wherever you have saved your file each and every project has to be set in different way please do that. Many of the people they don't. Now what kind of set project I'm talking about? मैं set project की क्या बात कर रहा हूँ? फाइल में आइए, आपके प्रोजेक्ट में आइए, ठीक है? आप क्या बनाना चाहते हैं ये आपके ऊपर। Do you want to create an empty project? Do you want to create an existing folder that you have where you have actually placed all your asset and everything, which is an extra, it could be anything that as a default, click as a default, or make a new project or configure the new path. Up to you, totally up to you. ये किए बगैर आप कोई प्रोजेक्ट शुरू ही ना करें। यू गेटिंग मी ठीक है मैं तो यही बोलूंगा कि ये करे किए बगैर आप कोई प्रोजेक्ट शुरू ही ना करें द बेस्ट पार्ट इज बाय डूइंग सच काइंड ऑफ अ थिंग एवरीथिंग इज प्रॉपर्ली सेट ओके एज अ person from movie industry in Maya we do the same thing many of the design visualization people they don't know how to work in 3ds max because you are not from the movie background many of the people are not from the movie making background we totally understand that fine ठीक है ये एक 3D सॉफ्टवेयर है जिसके अंदर आपको अपने काम से काम निकालना है बराबर है लेकिन ये बनाया गया है ओरिजिनली फॉर मूवी मेकिंग यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट ठीक है ये मूवी मेकिंग के लिए ओरिजिनली बनाया गया था इसमें मूवीज बनती हैं आज भी ठीक है बाहुबली इज वन ऑफ द बिग एग्जांपल ओके वो तो एक एग्जांपल है लेकिन इट्स वन ऑफ द बिग एग्जांपल ओके वेयर द एंटायर सेट एंड एवरीथिंग वाज मेड इन AutoCAD एंड 3ds Max that's what they did the entire thing पूरा उनका महल the interior of the महल and everything the Rajya Sabha and everything was done in 3ds Max you can see the making of Bahubali on online if you I have with me. I've been circulating it for quite some time now. So those things have been made in Max. Okay, games are made still in Max. Okay, आज भी गेमिंग के बहुत सारे assets Max में ही बनाए जाते हैं ठीक है मॉडलिंग के लिए आज भी मैक्स बहुत रिलेवेंट है ऐसा नहीं कि बिल्कुल नहीं ओके सो माय पॉइंट इज कि लाइक this is how the final render of my file will be looking and say suppose if I opened up this was originally again around 2 GB का फाइल नहीं नहीं अराउंड 200 का MB नहीं नहीं ये फर्नीचर है ओ सॉरी तो ओरिजिनल ओरिजिनल कहीं पर है ना Maybe I have actually optimized it completely. Sorry, I have actually optimized it completely. This was originally a 2 GB file. Okay, now this is around what? 2 MB file. I just made shown you one example. 1 GB file I made into 4 MB. So 2 GB file would be somewhere around 2 MB के आसपास मैंने फिर भी बहुत ज्यादा ऑप्टिमाइज किया इसे ठीक है so this again I use the same traditional method. This is there from generation of the VS Max. Okay, people don't understand that they need to optimize it that scene as much as possible. ठीक है और ये वही सीन है ठीक है and the entire scene that you are able to see over here is made from scratch okay मैंने फिर बाद में इसमें जो मटेरियल्स है वो पीबीआर मटेरियल्स मैंने यूज किए हैं now what are the PBR material physical based rendering materials they have various other different information. Is there anyone in the audience who want me to show what exactly the PBR material is? Then I'll happy to show you. It's just a hardly 5 minutes part, but it is something which you get online a lot. Okay. if I can show you, even if you went over there, this is one of the project manager that I want to talk later. But if you type in PBR, खाली आपने अगर ये type किया, free download material, these are the materials that you get. हाँ, आप खुद भी बना सकते हो. Okay, in order to make such kind of a PBR material, you need a software. One of the Adobe software that we will be taking a webinar in future. Stay tuned for that also. Is for Substance Painter, how Adobe can help you in making a very good 3D scene also, and especially the texture part. Okay, so this is something that you can actually make. तो अगर एक रॉकी रच जैसा अगर मुझे कुछ अगर चाहिए, if I want this, which is free of cost for now, I can download it for Unity, Unreal, and BL. Suppose it's for Blender, but it's okay. So suppose if I want to use it for Unity, simply download it and it would be there with me. I'll just download it from सी मेरी आदत है कि मैं ना स्क्रैच से चीजों को बताता हूँ, बिकॉज देन ओनली यू पीपल वुड बी एबल टू रिलेट इट. मैं अगर खाली पीपीटी अगर बता दूं और फिर बाद में आपको दिखा दूं, दैट डजंट मेक मच ऑफ अ सेंस. आई बिलीव इन प्रैक्टिकल एप्लीकेशन बिकॉज आई बीन इन दैट सिचुएशन इन पास्ट. Okay, so say suppose if I click on download and it is there. It's there over here. We'll come back on that later. But this is how you actually get such kind of PBR materials. Okay, और इसे लोड मैक्स में कैसे करते हैं अगर आपको जानना है, मैं थोड़ी देर में आपको बता भी दूंगा. That's not an issue. Yes. So my point is कि like अगर से suppose आप ये सारा का सारा PBR मटेरियल मैंने जो बनाया हुआ है, वही सारा PBR मटेरियल मैंने यहाँ यूटिलाइज किया है. Okay, this is the scene originally, and I haven't used any light. मैं 1% की भी मैंने इसमें लाइट यूज नहीं की है. जो भी है इसके अंदर वो HDRI लाइट है. Many of the people who in the audience must have used HDRI light in various other applications also. But mind you, HDRI का यूज करने का तरीका मैक्स और माया जैसे सॉफ्टवेयर से ही आगे बढ़ा. ठीक है, तो आज भी ये उतना ही रेलेवेंट है यहाँ पर. और मैं मानता हूँ कि पास में the other renderer that was there with 3ds Max or Autodesk for that matter was Mental Ray. Mental Ray got scrapped off by 2018, and from 2018, since 2018, it's been what now 5 years, well, more than 5 years, more than 5 years. Arnold is part of 3ds Max, and as and when it is keep on evolving. आपके existing अगर वीरे के भी अगर कोई फाइल है या फिर आपके existing कोरोना के फाइल है, आपको अगर उसे आर्नोल्ड में अगर रेंडर करना है, आप वो रेंडर कर सकते हैं. आपके एग्जिस्टिंग मटेरियल चेंज हो जाएंगे into this physical based material. सिर्फ आपको सीन कन्वर्टर जो आप अवॉइड करते हो कई बार, जब भी आप ओपन करोगे तो वो पहले ही पॉपअप आता है कि आप मुझे डू यू वांट टू कन्वर्ट दिस सीन इनटू आर्नोल्ड बेस्ड और व्हाटएवर. तो rather than closing it, use it once. Use it once. Trust me, you will see the difference. Okay, so it's here. वैसे अगर किसी को अगर जानना है तो it's over here. Yeah, is it getting open? Yeah, this is the one. Okay, convert to Arnold compatible features. मतलब ऐसे सपोज इफ इट इज फॉर वीरे, तो वो वीरे से फिर आर्नोल्ड के इसमें सारा का सारा मटेरियल आपका कन्वर्ट हो जाएगा. द ओनली प्रॉब्लम यू माइट फेस इज यू माइट हैव टू रीलोड द एंटायर टेक्सचर. That is one thing that would be there. ठीक है, still Arnold developers are working on it. Maybe in future versions, even the texture path would be also getting copied. That is that I'm not promising it, but it's there in the pipeline. It could be happening if they get the breakthrough. Okay, so अब अगर से suppose इसे अगर से suppose मैंने जो बनाया हुआ है, I have not given any light. Everything is HDRI. And say suppose if I want to render, ठीक है, I'll give you certain tips on how to render in Arnold. Now, you have different renderers in market. You have V-Ray, you have Corona, you have even Lumion for that matter. Lumion, even I like that software personally. Being from a very neutral perspective, even I like Lumion very much. But you need to understand here, okay, all these renderer, why they are so much fast. आप लोग कहते हो ना वो बहुत फास्ट है, बहुत फास्ट है. वीरे के कंपैरिजन में ना मैं एक चीज और बोलूंगा. वीरे में भी many of the people in the audience, they are still not using GPU based वीरे. Sorry. मेरे अब तक के एक्सपीरियंस में मैंने देखा है कि नहीं, मैंने देखा ही नहीं एक्चुअली किसी को अभी तक, अनफॉर्चुनेटली किसी ने भी वीरे के जीपीयू बेस्ड रेंडरिंग को टच तक नहीं किया है। आज भी आप लोग सिर्फ वो वीरे के वो ही सेटिंग जो बनता है उसी को कॉपी पेस्ट करके रन कर रहे। नो, यू हैव टू कीप ऑन इनोवेटिंग. That is the, if something that you can actually take away from this particular webinar, and if you are spending so much of time with me, I would only suggest you one thing. Please don't stop innovating. Don't stop learning. Don't stop sharpening your existing skills. जो कॉपी पेस्ट हुआ है वो प्रोजेक्ट हो गया, लेकिन कई बार आपने कभी नोटिस किया कि वही सेम मेथड जब आप नए प्रोजेक्ट में अगर यूज करते हो विद अ डिफरेंट चैलेंज, ओके, यू आर गेटिंग स्टक, योर फाइल इज गेटिंग हैवी, ओके, और रेंडर टाइम बहुत ज्यादा जा रहा है। रेंडर टाइम ज्यादा ज्यादा जाने का मेन पर्पस इसीलिए है क्योंकि यू आर स्टिल यूजिंग जीपीयू, यू आर स्टिल यूजिंग सीपीयू बेस्ड रेंडर, यू आर नॉट यूजिंग जीपीयू बेस्ड रेंडर। इन आर्नोल्ड वी हैव जीपीयू एंड सीपीयू बोथ ऑफ कोर्स। अभी एक नया लेटेस्ट वर्जन है, कोर्स मैं इसको बाद में डाउनलोड कर लूंगा, ओके, बट ट्रेडिशनली द थिंग्स आर स्टिल द सेम। मैंने इसे जीपीयू में पहले ही कन्वर्ट करके रखा है, आपको बाय डिफॉल्ट कुछ ऐसा दिखेगा, सीपीयू एंड जीपीयू, ठीक है, ऑलराइट। एंड if you are getting this message over here, that means you are up to date with your drivers in ग्राफिक कार्ड, मतलब आपका जो ग्राफिक कार्ड का जो ड्राइवर है वो अप टू डेट है। अगर ये मैसेज दिख रहा है इसका मतलब यू आर राइट, यू आर परफेक्ट, नो प्रॉब्लम, ठीक है, राइट। एंड say suppose if you want to further denoise or something like that, that's a separate thing, but मैं फिलहाल के लिए उसे एक बहुत ही कम रेजोल्यूशन पे फिलहाल, just for the sake of this webinar, I'm using around 640 by 480, okay, और GPU बेस मैंने इसे रेंडर के लिए रखा हुआ है। जस्ट हैव अ लुक कि ये कितना टाइम लेता है रेंडर होने के लिए। इट विल टेक अराउंड फ्यू सेकेंड्स जस्ट टू स्टार्ट, क्योंकि जीपीयू को थोड़ा स्टार्ट होने में थोड़ा टाइम जाता है। इट विल बी टेकिंग यूजिंग अप अ लॉट ऑफ माय जीपीयू, and it's taking around what I'm sure it will take around 19 seconds just to render this particular scene. ठीक है, माइंड यू देयर इज अ ग्लास एंड एवरीथिंग, ओके। मैंने अगर इसे 720 में भी किया, 1024 में भी अगर मैंने किया है, ठीक है, सेव फोल्डर में मैंने सेव तो किया था बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली हुआ नहीं, बट एनीवेज, ये अगर से सपोज मैंने इसे अगर 1024 बाय 768 में भी अगर मैंने जब रेंडर किया है, इट इन जीपीयू इट टुक अराउंड 4 to 5 minutes टू रेंडर इन जीपीयू, ठीक है। ये लैपटॉप है जिसमें मैंने 4 to 5 minutes लिया। आई एम श्योर इफ यू हैव अ गुड डेस्कटॉप, okay, with a very good cooling system in GPU, it will take seconds, okay, 40 seconds, 1 minute, उसमें आपका अच्छा खासा सीन रेंडर हो सकता है, ठीक है। ये डिफर करता है फ्रॉम सिस्टम टू सिस्टम। लैपटॉप में अनफॉर्चुनेटली रेंडर टाइम ज्यादा जाएगा, ठीक है, मैं कोई कुछ नहीं कर सकता उसमें, ठीक है। And these are the settings that I actually get over here. मेरे पास यहाँ पर लाइट मिक्सर है। इफ आई एम फाइंडिंग दिस थिंग अ बिट ऑफ अ डार्क, मुझे थोड़ा डार्क लग रहा है। मैंने कैसे किया इसमें, मैं ऐड करके यहाँ पर लाइट मिक्सर के तौर पर मैंने इसे यहाँ पर यहाँ डाला हुआ है। एंड इफ आई वांट टू इंक्रीज अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ ब्राइटनेस, आई कैन इंक्रीज इट एंड आई कैन डिक्रीज इट एज पर माय विल, ठीक है। अगर मैंने अंदर की अगर लाइटिंग अगर मैंने बढ़ाई हो या कम करनी हो, मैं इसे बाहर का सीन को थोड़ा कम कर सकता हूँ, ज्यादा कर सकता हूँ। पूरा अगर मैंने कम कर दिया तो आप देख सकते हैं द एंटायर टोन हैज बीन चेंज्ड, ओके। हाँ, टोन फॉर दैट मैटर, इफ आई वांट टू कलर करेक्ट दिस एंटायर थिंग, आई कैन आल्सो डू अ कलर करेक्शन हियर, okay. So say suppose if I want to increase I don't know, somewhere around reddish or something like that, okay, color gain, as you can see, पूरा का पूरा टोन वगैरह सब मैं आराम से चेंज कर सकता हूँ। आई एम नॉट चेंजिंग इट राइट नाउ, आई एम जस्ट गिविंग एन एग्जांपल। दिस इज वन ऑफ द थिंग्स दैट यू कैन एक्चुअली प्ले अलोंग विद इट, एंड यू कैन आल्सो इंक्रीज द लेंस फ्लेयर एंड मेनी थिंग्स। हाउ एम आई एबल टू प्ले विद इट? बिकॉज माय सीन इज ऑप्टिमाइज्ड। मैंने अगर 2 GB के फाइल में ये करने की कोशिश की थी, ठीक है, इट टेक फॉर एवर मी टू गेट इट अपडेटेड। नाउ इट इज ओनली 2 MB, दैट्स व्हाई इट इज गेटिंग प्रॉपरली अपडेटेड, okay. So these are the certain things, And if I'm not mistaken, the same kind of a setting, you also find it in V-Ray. You also find it in Corona. ओके हाँ कोरोना में फिर बाद में हैवी सीन पे कैसे होता है अरे भैया होता है लेकिन ये भी देखिए कि वो कोरोना क्या यूज कर रहा है वो जीपीयू यूज कर रहा है मैक्सिमम टाइम कोरोना यूजेस जीपीयू बट इन वीरे इट टेक्स टाइम व्हाई बिकॉज यू आर स्टिल यूजिंग सीपीयू ओके सी एनी जीपीयू इज समथिंग व्हिच इज द फ्यूचर स्टार्ट लुकिंग इनटू इट लूमियन क्या है पूरा जीपीयू है if you ask me other softwares that are there in market as a technical person, I'm not shying away that you are using all those software. You should only use Max. No, and I'm not an old kind of a person. I also keep on evolving. Okay, मुझे भी देखना रहता है कि what is going on right now in market. How can I achieve one particular project much more better? Okay, but at least my intention here is the software that I'm using it. I should optimize. I should use that particular software in a very optimal way. ओके उसे मैं बेस्ट तरीके से मैं करूंगा ताकि मैं काम जल्दी खत्म कर सकूं और जल्दी घर जा सकूं वरना रात भर बैठे रहूंगा मैं खाली मेरे रेंडर के लिए many of this people in the industry they do relate to this particular part अरे यार मेरा पूरा सीन मैंने बनाया हुआ था पूरी रात मुझे अभी उसको वापस ठीक करने में और डिलीवरी कल मेरी अटकी पड़ी हुई है मुझे कल के कल इसे डिलीवर करना है ब्ला 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 ये सारी चीजें आती हैं everything crushing down why because you haven't started your project in the right way in the right direction that is the first thing ओके सो ये इस तरीके से आप इसे रेंडर कर पाते हैं एंड आई हैव यूज्ड द पीबीआर मटेरियल पीबीआर मटेरियल के बारे में मैं जस्ट आपको बताता हूँ व्हिच वुड बी द मोस्टली प्रोबेबली द लास्ट थिंग आई एम श्योर दिस इज ऑलरेडी 4 o'clock but if you can spare me some time this is what the PBR material is used how this is how the PBR material is used. So for that, I'll make a simple plane. क्योंकि मेरा टेक्सचर थोड़ा खुरदीला है तो फिर बाद में मैं इसे थोड़ा और काम करूंगा. I'll be making it 120 by 120. Okay. From there, I hope you remember noise. And say suppose if I made it like this. Yes. ठीक है. इसकी स्केलिंग में थोड़ी कम कर देता हूँ. I'm still remember about this because थोड़ी बात ये अगर से सपोज हमने नहीं किए हुए राइट तो अब अगर से सपोज मैं मेरे पास ये एक ग्राउंड जैसा अगर बना हुआ है एंड इफ आई वांट दैट पर्टिकुलर मटेरियल आई फर्स्ट अनजिप इट बिकॉज इट्स बीन डाउनलोडेड डायरेक्टली गैलरी कहाँ गया oh yes right click in the folder right click and extract all okay right it's there right देख लीजिए ये एक्चुअली किस किस्म का है रॉकी टेरेन दिस इज हाउ द मटेरियल इज ओके आप देख सकते हैं इसके अंदर आपको नॉर्मल मेटालिक हाइट एंड हाइट इज मोर फॉर द डिस्प्लेसमेंट ओके एंड रफनेस ये सारी मटेरियल आपको यहाँ पर मिलती है विथ नेम दिस इज हाउ इट शुड बी दिस इज हाउ इट looks right and if you come down into your 3ds Max come into your material. Now, in material, you do get something known as utility. Now, either use this way or you use your slate mode, up to you. The slate mode is not your enemy, please. ये आपका friend ही है. Over here, you can actually see your entire material in a very schematic way. ठीक है? तो ये भी आपका friend ही है. Don't shy away from this. Import में अगर मैं आया, this was actually where. I'll take this one, Control C, so that it will be much more faster. We enter, yes. And just a sec. ये नहीं चाहिए मुझे because ये preview है सिर्फ. I'm taking the rest, everything, even including the material link. And open. ये सारा मेरे लिए relevant है. I'm creating a file, and this is what I'm getting. Are you able to see? Quite realistic. मैं इसे थोड़ा सा आर्नोल्ड में रेंडर करके भी दिखा देता हूँ आपको. आर्नोल्ड में रेंडर करने के लिए मुझे रेंडर व्यू ओपन करने की जरूरत है. if I just clicked on active shade mode over here. ठीक है? मे बी शायद मैं शेयर कर रहा हूँ इसीलिए एक्टिव शेड मोड ठीक से काम नहीं कर रहा. माय बैड. रिमूव इट. मैं ट्रेडिशनल मेरे इसमें ही चला जाता हूँ. Basically, I'm actually taking a webinar and it's juicing up a lot of GPU right now because of the video inputs that are going out. तो इसीलिए ये फिर बाद में वाइजेबल नहीं है कि मैं इसे इस तरीके से दिखाऊं. It's better that I show you like this. Isn't? Interesting. CPU बेस्ड है लेकिन फिर भी इतना टाइम नहीं जाना चाहिए. ये क्लासिक एग्जांपल है कि अगर से सपोज मैंने सीपीयू बेस्ड अगर रेंडर यूज किया एंड आई एम यूजिंग अ वेरी हाई लेवल ऑफ टेक्सचर टेकिंग टाइम टू रेंडर. मैं इसे फिर से जीपीयू बेस्ड करके देखता हूँ whether it looks or not. Escape. Let's do it in GPU. ठीक है? तो अगर से सपोज मैंने इसे रेंडर किया into this system GPU over here. Yes. इसे कर दो and I'll be using not 3ds Max but Arnold compliant. Okay. For now 3 is good enough and I'll be using a very low one. That's why. Oh, okay, okay. It's taking a very HD view. Okay. Custom में मैं इसे ले लेता हूँ 640. Okay. Arnold, print a view. Play. Yep. This is what it is. देख सकते हैं आप? The rocky and everything has been made quite well. And the best part here is like, so suppose if I increased it, it is getting rendered lively. Oops. Okay. So this is PBR material. This is what I was talking about. हमने रॉक वगैरह सब नहीं बनाई है, फिर भी ये रॉकी लग रहा है. हाँ, of course मेरा नॉइज ज्यादा हो सकता है. If I want to reduce the noise, okay, I'll just reduce the noise, and if I see, it looks much more better and believable. GPU को थोड़ा start होने में टाइम जा रहा है. ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. So my point is that this is how you actually apply your PBR material. Now this was a rocky one. The same thing can be applied for a simple sofa or for a simple table or something like that. A very good texture patterns and libraries are available online, free of cost. Many of them are very free. But say suppose if you want to make your own such kind of a material. If you want to make such kind of a material on your own, Substance Painter is something which will be very helpful. And we will be making. I'll be actually giving you a webinar on that. Most probably, I'm sorry, but somewhere around January, because we are lined up for this month's webinar also with the guest speaker. The next time we actually meet, it would be about an insights on one of the movies that had been released, Transformer, the animated movie, and how the best artist of industry, that is the we are actually getting Mr. most probably Mr. Ravi or Mr. I'm just giving an example. Either him or his someone from his team would be coming on board, and they will be showcasing their work, how they achieved uh, completing Transformer movies by using Maya and Arnold. Okay, so they will be actually showcasing on that. And further, in that particular webinar itself, we will be also showing you what all things you can do in GPU-based Arnold. So Arnold is, we will be further deep diving in future sessions, how you can utilize GPU-based Arnold. Okay, and based on that knowledge, you can also apply same somewhere or the more somewhere more or less those techniques to other renderers also. So keep in mind, GPU-based render is something which is the future, and it's gonna be hitting the market very hard because you people are still working on CPU and people want things very fast. So if you want to generate things very fast, you have to optimize utilize your existing hardware in a very optimal way. You have RTX graphic cards in market. People are using RTX card as a hardware in their particular studio or their workplace, but they are not using it. They are not at all using it because you are not using GPU at all. Sorry to say that, but this is the truth. Okay, so this is what I had to share about our journey in 3ds Max. Further, if you actually see what Arnold can do is something in the future sessions, as these are certain challenges that are people are facing it online. They are facing some online resources part and training part or something like that. That's where we as a partner comes in. We do a lot of training. Webinar is one of the medium where that we actually showcase such kind of work. But suppose if you want to deep dive into such kind of a training, we are happy to do that into your premises. Do contact us back, and we can definitely do such kind of sessions more. As far as the Arnold part is concerned, the latest Arnold, okay, is much more better and faster than what it used to be. As you have seen a live example earlier, it used to be literally slow because many of the things were still working on the background. The developers of the Arnold are really working very hard to make sure that the renderer is is spending less. I mean, a lighting artist is spending much more less time in Arnold, and he's spending more time in its creativity. So that's something that people are doing it. A new and better workflow with PBR material. Do understand that PBR material has been in the industry for quite some time, and mind you, PBR material is the only material which is cross-platform. That means you can use PBR material not just in Arnold, in your V-Ray, in your Corona, in your Lumion, in your Unreal, everywhere. Okay, so if you are sticking your, if you are actually coming down to PBR material rather than just blindly using the materials which are there in that particular renderer, ओके, यानी कि आपने अगर वो रेंडरर नहीं खरीदा तो वो आपको वो उसके मटेरियल्स और उसके लाइब्रेरीज नहीं मिलेंगे. ठीक है. ट्राई टू गेट yourself side from these things so that you can also work on cross platforms. क्या होता है कि लोग अगर सपोज आप लोग अगर वही उनके ही मटेरियल और उनके ही अगर एसेट्स अगर आप लोग यूज करोगे विदाउट इवन कन्वर्टिंग इनटू एनीथिंग और फिर बाद में आप लोग फाइल हैवी होती है. आई अंडरस्टैंड, ठीक है, वो उनका सेलिंग पॉइंट है. बट ये भी देखने की जरूरत है कि एज अ यूजर यू हैव टू ऑप्टिमाइज योर वर्क इन अ बेटर वे रादर देन जस्ट स्टिकिंग टू दैट कि भाई मैंने उनसे वीरे से अगर से सपोज नहीं किया या मैंने अनरियल से अगर सपोज नहीं किया. इवन अनरियल इज क्रॉस प्लेटफॉर्म, उसके भी एसेट्स हम माया और मैक्स में खोल पाते हैं, लेकिन दूसरे बहुत सारे ऐसे हैं जिनके साथ हम लोग ऐसा नहीं कर सकते. ओके, सो फॉर दैट मैटर try to utilize those things which is cross platform, यानी कि वो easily एक से दूसरे दूसरे से तीसरे रेंडरिंग में भी और प्रोजेक्ट टू प्रोजेक्ट को शिफ्ट हो सके. वैसा करने की कोशिश ज्यादा कीजिएगा ताकि आगे के लिए say suppose if you have already a project with you which you have already executed in somewhere in V-Ray or something like that, that the client has come back, okay, उसने changes किए, okay, और उसको और realistic चाहिए, तो अभी आपने पुराने मेथड से तो कर दिया, उसमें वो एक पर्टिकुलर प्रोजेक्ट निकालते निकालते आपको 2 दिन गए, लेकिन उसको तुरंत चाहिए, तब क्या करेंगे? तो अगर क्रॉस प्लेटफॉर्म अगर सपोज आपने अगर बनाया रहेगा, तो वो आप तुरंत फिर बाद में दूसरे रेंडरर में भी आप लेकर जाकर उसे यूज कर सकेंगे. So think smartly. Please make sure you are making most of your skills in thinking smartly and optimizing your current work. That's more important. Please, that is something. If you do, you will be facing less amount of trouble while working in 3ds Max. Less amount of time would be actually wasted. आपका डेडलाइन आप प्रॉपर्ली मीट कर पाओगे. That's the most important thing, that if you are valuable to your firm, then of course that he will be admiring your skills further, and not just for that particular firm. You can open up your own thing sometime, and you will be known for it, that I can deliver far much more faster. Why? Because you have a sharp skill. Okay, so think in that perspective also. And you do have a very strong support when it comes to Arnold and 3ds Max. We as person, we do dedicate our lives and sweat and blood just to make sure that the software is performing as you will. So do stay in touch with us, and if you have any queries, this is the further that I was actually talking about, that it is further enhanced its capability in NVIDIA and AMD. So see, GPU में आपको ये देखना बहुत जरूरी है कि आप कौन सा कार्ड यूज करते हैं. The card is very much important. More or less, if you are not using the card in a very optimal manner, ठीक है, और वो कार्ड प्रॉपर्ली परफॉर्म नहीं कर रहा ना, तो आप एंड ऑफ द डे फिर बाद में मैक्स को और आर्नोल्ड को ही बोलोगे, यार मेरा रेंडर नहीं हो रहा. बट हम सबसे पहले यही देखते हैं कि भाई आप कौन सा हार्डवेयर यूज कर रहे हैं. जितना अच्छा हार्डवेयर, दैट मीन्स द सॉफ्टवेयर इज एज गुड एज योर हार्डवेयर. Okay, so make sure you are having a very up-to-date hardware, and whenever you are actually using it. Okay, so here is my contact details, and if you have any question, please do write us. I'm happy to address all your queries. Okay, over to you, Nishant, if any closing remarks on your end.
Just waiting for a few more questions so
Yeah,
that we can give answers to any. Also,
yeah.
we have some questions. For example, like what specific topics would you like to cover in the future sessions? So, if you can tell all the attendees that what we are doing. For example, other than like in the 3ds Max visualization, other than that, you want to discuss anything?
Mm. Okay. I do have seen one question from Mr. David. Yeah, multiple GPU capabilities. Yes, yes, yes. Of course, of course. See, in Max, if you're talking about Arnold, if I say on the Arnold perspective, I have one GPU in my system. That's why it showed one GPU. Okay. If I had two GPUs or three GPUs, and if it is properly updated and drivers are properly updated, then the entire list of GPU would be there in that particular box that you just saw in my render settings. It will be there. Multiple GPU are, it is capable of to utilize multiple GPU. In fact, you can also reduce somewhere, okay, I want to use this particular GPU more and this particular GPU less. You can also do that. Okay. Provided you should have that kind of a say. In one more tip, if I further tell you about it, try to utilize same company GPU. That means if you are using an NVIDIA graphic card, the second graphic card in that particular system should be NVIDIA. If you are using AMD, the second graphic card should be also AMD. So don't mix it up. It could be an issue because your system might heat up. So try to make sure that you are having same company graphic card so that it would be compatible. Yes. Is render settings of Maya and 3ds Max same? Yes, exactly the same. Exactly the same. There are not much of a difference. Thank you. इनफैक्ट मैं थोड़ा ऐड करना चाहूंगा ऑन योर कमेंट हितेश. दोनों का सेटिंग सेम है, ये बात तो है ही. द वेरी फर्स्ट if I give you the past record about Arnold, uh, just I'm talking about 2012 से लेकर 2018 तक, ठीक है? उससे भी पहले, अगर आप उससे भी पहले देखने जाओ तो, as a person, as a vendors, as a software vendor, we used to sell 3ds Max and V-Ray, and we used to sell Maya and Arnold separately. ठीक है, हम वो सेपरेटली बेचते थे। तो माया के साथ आर्नोल्ड जाता था और मैक्स के साथ वीरे जाता था। दिस दिस यूज्ड टू हैपन फॉर ऑलमोस्ट अ डेकेड, ठीक है? फॉर ऑलमोस्ट 10 years इट यूज्ड टू हैपन अनलेस ऑटोरस प्रिक्योर्ड आर्नोल्ड, ठीक है? तो जब आर्नोल्ड प्रिक्योर कर लिया तो इनिशियली तो उन्होंने माया के लिए ही प्रिक्योर किया, लेकिन फिर बाद में उन्होंने देखा कि इसकी कैपेबिलिटीज ज्यादा है, तो उन्होंने मैक्स में इंट्रोड्यूस करा। Okay. Initially, we had some challenges in 2018 and 2019. I do distinctly remember that your existing V-Ray scene were not getting converted. The scene converter was not very good. But now the scene converters are very good. Okay. They actually convert your entire V-Ray shaders. I'm not saying about texture material, but V-Ray shaders to convert कर लेगा into Arnold compatible shaders. मैं फिर से कहूंगा कि आपको सिर्फ टेक्सचर को फिर से लोड करने की जहमत उठानी पड़ेगी, बस उतना एक काम करना पड़ेगा। अगर आप एग्जिस्टिंग सीन को आर्नोल्ड के लिए करना पड़ेगा, वो 1 डे जॉब है कई बार, या अराउंड 2 to 3 hours का जॉब है, डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द सीन, ठीक है? लेकिन अगर आपने वो कर दिया, वो फिर बाद में आर्नोल्ड कंपैटिबल हो गया, आप फिर बाद में जैसे उसे आर्नोल्ड में यूज करना चाहें कर सकेंगे। सो मल्टीपल रेंडरर्स को भी यूज करना सीखिए, मैं यही कहना चाहूंगा। और पेड भी है, मैं मानता हूँ कुछ रेंडरर्स पेड है, बट इनबिल्ट जो मैक्स के अंदर है वो भी है। सारे चीजों का अगर अच्छे से नॉलेज रखोगे, you will be having a very good skill set at the end of the day. Yes. Thank you. So, is there any other question? Yeah. Future seminar topics. Yes, we will be keep on posting. मैंने जैसे अभी बताया कि हम we will be actually bringing on board from good artist, award-winning artist from 88 Pictures, and they will be doing a webinar next month, of course. And कुछ हमारे Adobe Substance Painter के लिए भी हम लोगों ने रखा हुआ है, ये भी है in pipeline. If you have any specific topic कि सर इसके ऊपर एक बार लीजिएगा, ऑफ कोर्स आई विल बी डेफिनेटली लुकिंग इनटू इट। अगर अगर मैं ना ले सका, एंड इफ आई वांट टू ब्रिंग ऑन सम स्पीकर, वी विल बी आल्सो डूइंग दैट। We are definitely open for that, okay? Because this is at this platform that we have created should be for knowledge sharing and not restricted just for me speaking and you guys listening, okay? Right. Any further questions?
Okay, so we thank you. We appreciate your time and participation today. But remember, the key to successful design visualization lies in mastering your production pipeline. So if you have any questions or need further assistance, don't hesitate to reach out. You have the number and details for Mr. Jignesh. I am pinching my number and details in the chat box as well for future reference, right?
We will
S-
also share some feedback forms if you
Yes.
can. Yeah, so if you will be kind enough to fill up that feedback form and give us your feedback, valuable feedback, so that we can improve further.
Yes, that would be very much appreciated. Now, for until next time, stay inspired, keep creating, and let's elevate your projects together.
And have a good weekend.
Yeah, take care.
Take care.
Thank you so much. Happy ending.